Welcome. Well, very good, right? I really liked it, to be honest. Today, Real Madrid, I think, played their best match of the preseason. The second half was weaker than the first, which is understandable due to substitutions and fatigue. There wasn't much of that in the sense that I didn't see the players slacking off. I didn't see them relaxing. We were pressing even in the last minutes of a match that Madrid won 3-0, and that was a friendly. And there, I think you can see Mourinho's influence. I don't want to rely too much on the cliche. I really don't. But in the end, you have to use that cliche because it is a cliche. Cliches are also there because they are things that have happened and they've happened many times. And so that's why it's an easy way to explain certain things. With Mourinho, soccer players, as a general rule, don't relax. Then, well, we saw in the third year of Mourinho's first stint at Real Madrid what happened, right?
Those are locker room problems that I hope we don't have this year, even though we've seen Mourinho with this. And then we already thought, damn, he's already had a clash. He's already had a clash with someone there.
Pay attention to Mourinho's black eye. Well, maybe he banged it on a table or something. We don't know. But anyway, it was more of an anecdote. What I was getting at, the important thing. So nobody relaxes there. I think the players know that the first one who does will be out. Although I would like to see it with certain players. Mourinho is famous for not giving star players special treatment and for making things very clear. He showed it during his first stint at Real Madrid. He has shown it throughout his entire career. There's nothing like demanding excellence from top footballers. I discussed this with my father during the game, and we were saying, damn, guess not. We were thinking, let's see if he gets the most out of him. Let's see if he pushes this one. Let's see if this player with Mourinho goes back to being who he was, etc. And we said, no. The thing is, football-wise, he already has the quality. What needs to be drawn out of them again, what they need to keep in mind constantly, what has to be non-negotiable, is their attitude in games. Most of all, they need that constant threat hanging over them. If you don't do things right, you are out. You're out. That's the feeling they give for now and in preseason, and I don't want to fall into the nonsense of, wow, Madrid is flying. We haven't played a single official match yet. But that's the feeling I'm getting. Let me know in the comments too. I mean, it's a team that, even though it's just one match, I'll look for Cucurella's statements to include. If I don't find them, I'll use them in the next video. But Mourinho in a match, when was it? I'm not sure if it was the first or second match, maybe the one against Fiorentina, when he said you can't be winning a league game by a small margin and then complicate things in defense in the final minutes. This is the one, right? A narrow margin and making things complicated in defense in the last minutes. This is a friendly match and it's no big deal. But in the league, this can't happen. Well, that message he gives in public, in the locker room, he amplifies it and repeats it, and it becomes clear to everyone, right? So that's the Madrid we want to see. Because Ancelotti would have told them back in the day, well, Ancelotti succeeded with this squad, with this one, or one very similar to it. What happened is that later, his message didn't get through as much. Xavi's message never really got through, and if it did, at some point, it didn't last long. Arbeloas didn't have time to get through. No, because, I mean, it's not that other coaches' messages were different from Mourinho's. They were very similar. Arbeloa and Xavi Alonso are Mourinho's apprentices. Here the key is who sends you that message, whether you believe in your coach or not. Is it the players' fault when they don't believe in the coach? Well, yes, because they have to obey their boss, but it's also about how the coach delivers the message. And for that, you need to have a long career, a special personality, a strong character. Then we've seen it ourselves when we went to school with certain teachers. Well, that wasn't my case. I behaved pretty well in the classroom, but there were teachers, there were instructors that nobody respected, and others that everyone stood at attention when they walked in, right? It's that phrase, I don't remember who said it, I think it was Maroto from us, who said a coach who, when he enters the locker room, makes the radio, the music, and the loudspeaker all go silent. Well, that's Mourinho, whose message we already know how it's going to be, but the key is how he delivers it and whether people listen to him. And I think these guys, for now, are listening to him, And I think that's why, because attitude is non-negotiable, because they listen to him, because they know that if they don't do what he says, they're out. That's why this team is going to work. Or at least it's going to be very competitive, because I still see that problem in the midfield, because Mourinho is the first one who's looking for solutions. Now, about other videos, some people call me negative or a pessimist, but I won't change my thinking. I believe we are missing a defensive midfielder, but today there's good news. Today there's good news. I really like it, and now let's go with the starting 11. Bernardo Silva in the first half, but too much is too much, as Cosin said on Twitter, a very accurate comment. Which is accurate? Bernardo Silva is doing well. I posted on X that I was excited, but he said Silva isn't a defensive midfielder, so people shouldn't get too excited. I mean, how must things be that without being a defensive midfielder, he's the one with the most talent to play there? Because that's just how it is. How did Bernardo Silva bring the ball out from the back in the first half? You need to see everything in perspective. The opponent is a team that has spent a few years in the second division, Schalke 04. We already faced them back in the year of La Décima and the following year. Remember, I mean, it's a historic German team where Raúl played, etc. But hey, I mean, they're coming from the second division. Let's not get carried away. With another team, you might think Bernardo Silva can do the job there based on what you saw today, but he might not. But even so, I think in important matches, in all of them, I would have him closer to the build-up than away from it. Among other things. Why? Because with this lineup we're seeing here, for me, is the same with Arda Güler. He's non-negotiable too. Arda Güler has to be an attacking midfielder. There was a pass here to Mbappé. Well, it's the best way Real Madrid has to connect with the beasts they have up front. And he's a guy, and above all, the connection from last year and the year before. Watch how the Turk turns here on Hauser's pass. He knows so as not to slow down, whether it's in a quick transition game or in positional play. Like Kroos, like Modric, the first touch, or rather the control, directional touches, so the ball does the moving, not you, and so the play has purpose. He's a fantastic footballer, and then that pass he gives, the one he gives to Kylian, is excellent, although the Frenchman then creates the play himself, right? The first goal, by the way, hey, we ran into Karius again. His teammates must have thought, Karius' teammates, this guy must have gotten over that thing with Real Madrid back in 2018. And it turns out one of his own teammates gives him the kind of problems he did, right? Kylian's first goal came after a Schalke player pass, which the Frenchman quickly capitalized on. I'm going to link what happened with Kylian to what happened with Vinicius. Because today, those who are saying that Vinicius isn't doing well, we are in preseason, so it's understandable. Vinicius isn't doing well, he's not doing well, he's lost a lot of balls. No, in most of the plays, he hasn't gotten past his marker. In some, he has. Careful, they fouled him for a penalty. Because the challenge is borderline legal and illegal. I believe it's illegal because, I mean, it's a foul because the guy comes from behind, the German defender. In the second half, you remember that play. For me, it's a penalty, but Vinicius isn't doing well. And so, of course, you say, no, that's why, because it's still preseason. Come on, we've seen some players in pretty good shape today, like Bernardo Silva, different positions. But Bernardo Silva, as Mourinho said the other day, he takes his vacations very seriously. He's not well trained, he's tired, whatever, but he played almost the whole match, 61 minutes, and did fantastic. And Vinicius, we already need a little more from him. Why? Because if we compare him to his other teammate in the attack, Kylian Mbappé, Mbappé arrived later than Vini. And look at the match Mbappé played. Doing his thing. But damn, he doesn't miss. The guy is absolutely electric and precise and a finisher, and he does what is expected of him. I hope this year he contributes a little more to the team's play. But well, it looks like Mbappé is going to score his 40-odd, 50 goals again this year, and that's it. What needs to support him is the rest of the team and, of course, also his involvement in the collective play. Vinicius, meh. But you're not going to hear a headline from me like we should have sold him or anything like that. Because I don't think that. Because I believe he still has a lot to give for this. Real Madrid, a lot. It's a whole lot. and that he will give it as soon as he's fully fit. Valverde, as part of a double pivot with Bernardo Silva. Well, what I'm going to say, I don't want it to sound too negative, but because of what I said about the Portuguese player, I think the less the Uruguayan got in the way there, the better. That is, balls to the Portuguese. In any case, Fede Valverde played an acceptable match, and that's it. I wouldn't like to see him as part of a double pivot with anyone. I don't think Fede is suited for that position. For me, as I've always liked, Valverde is best on the right, with a space ahead of him and with options to shoot from medium and long distance. In the build-up, deep in the build-up, in the creative zone, no, honestly, I don't think so. But anyway, Brahim also had a quiet game. I really like the defensive line with Dinghausen and with Konate doing very well, very calm, bringing the ball out from the back too, and overall, good. I mean, nothing like the Konate we saw in the little he played at the World Cup, same as Trent Alexander-Arnold, although for me, if I had to choose, I think my right back would be Dumfries rather than the Englishman. And Carreras, who gave a great pass to Carlos Speak for the second goal for Real, second or third, I can't remember now, the third goal for Real Madrid. A great pass and an acceptable performance from Carreras, who will be a substitute this year since Cucurella is taking his spot. I don't know if we have Cucurella's comments yet. Let me check for a moment, because he just spoke on Real Madrid television. And well, now as a new Madrid player, here we have it. Let's listen to him. Come on. Just a moment. There is Cucu.
Marc, congratulations, especially because it's your debut. What does it mean to play your first minutes here with Real Madrid, to wear this jersey?
Well, I'm very happy. I think it was a great match from everyone, a great result before the league starts, and that's it. They were my first minutes. I've been here, and the wait had felt long, but now I'm getting into the rhythm and looking forward to the league starting.
How did you feel today?
Good, very good. I think with these teammates everything is easier, and well, first minutes of the season, leader by leader getting into the rhythm, and soon the good stuff begins.
What a few weeks you've had. You're a world champion, just signed with Real Madrid and debuting today. Marc, how would you describe the past few weeks?
I'm just very happy. In the end, there's a lot of work behind all of this, and all the effort I put in these past 2 years has been worth it. I'm very happy with everything happening to me and hope to continue like this, keep winning titles, and most importantly, enjoy the experience.
First trip for you, first time being with the group. What are your teammates like? What have you found?
Good, really good, very happy. They are really great people. I think they make it very easy for everyone to fit in. And well, the important thing is to have a good group so that it shows on the field that we are united, and that's how you win.
And finally, I don't know if you are aware of how much people care about you, of the excitement.
Except in Germany, they booed him again for that handball at the Euros. They never forgive.
Madrid fans want to see you play. Do you feel their support? How does it feel for you?
Just happy, very happy. I receive a lot of messages, and well, I try to give my best always in every minute I get. And above all, I think the most important thing and what we all want is to win titles with this jersey.
Let's do it. Thanks again.
Well, that was Marc Cucurella. Let's see if there's anything else here. Someone just ran onto the field for the autograph. Security stopped him. My goodness. Well, important things. Cucurella today, outstanding. Important things. Carlos Espin. I love this striker for doing what he needs to do. He moves very well. He's just a bit lacking in speed. But that's not really what he's being asked to do either. That even though sometimes he makes runs and all that, he's a penalty box striker. He's a guy who has to get the ball with his head, and he does. He brings balls down and links up well. He gave a pass to Thiria that the kid missed because the ball bounced a little before and he didn't know how to angle his foot, but very well connected. Carlos Espí really knows what he has to do. I love that striker for what Mourinho needs from him, and I'm sure Mourinho is happy with him. Bellingham came on and looked like the main man today. Carlos Espí knows exactly what to do. I love that striker for what Mourinho needs from him, and I think Mourinho must be happy with him too. His desire to prove himself is great, even in a friendly, just as Mourinho wants. Diomande was hardly noticed. I mean, technically he's a delight, but we've seen very little of him. Now, Camavinga. Camavinga did well today. Today he was good. Today I'm optimistic. Camavinga was good today. I'm not getting carried away. We've seen Camavinga perform well many times, recovering balls and showing great physical presence, but not as a defensive midfielder. I mean, I'm not going to be convinced about that. I'll have to make a special video about that topic. However, Estero is a kid from the youth academy. He's just a kid. Yes. El otro día hice un vídeo especial sobre ese tema.
You can see he has that presence of a holding midfielder. What he's missing, of course, is years of experience and leadership and a lot of other things to be a holding midfielder at Real Madrid. But it would have been great if a holding midfielder had come this year to teach Testero, training with him, things so that kid could develop. I would keep him in the first team, honestly, not as a main player.
I wouldn't sell him. I think he's a very useful kid. I hope Mourinho understands that. And then when Peter arrives, well, between the two of them, hey, let them earn, not the starting spot, because there will be very few left to be there. One of those spots will go to Bernardo Silva.
We'll talk about it in more videos. There's another one who has to drop out, whether it's Valverde, Camavinga, or Tchouaméni. Someone has to drop out.
For me, Bernardo Silva has to play at the base or alongside another pivot. And Güler as attacking midfielder, they should be the main guys. Great lessons that this and the previous matches have taught us. The Turk has to play every time. As an attacking midfielder, he's excellent. And as a player who connects with the guys up front, and that's it. I don't think I have anything else to add. So in the next video, we'll have the preview of Real Madrid's last preseason match before the league starts.
Hope everything goes well for you. Give a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel. Please comment, share, hype up the video because a Cucurella video would really help. I hope you're all doing well. Look at me. I'm right in front of the sea. Right in front of the sea.
I didn't want to make you jealous. Damn, that's why I left it for the end, right? For the real fans who make it to the end of this new video. But anyway, I'm just loving life here. See you in the next one. Main character.